Alright, hello, hey guys, it is Justin here with JSW Cars. I'm going to do a little review today, a couple reviews. It's going to be kind of three parts. Part one is going to be some cons about the 2012 Honda Pilot EX. And the second one is going to be some pros, benefits, the things I like about it. The third one is going to be just reviewing it, talk about all the things on the one we have and what we think about it and all that. So I'm gonna jump right into it. So first of all, common problems with this car. If you get the leather interior, one thing you need to keep in mind, the points where you rest your arm here, the leather wears out and tears. I'm sure it does this on many cars too, but same thing here. If you have the armrest here, that wears out. Now they can be replaced. You can contact Honda to do all that. But just keep that in mind if you're going with certain interior trims, whatever. Second of all, Takata airbags. This came with one. We never had any issues with it, but as you know, Takata has had some major problems with their airbags deploying and putting metal shooting out into the person's face, and pre-deploying of the airbags, certain things like that. So it's a big recall. So Honda should contact you about that. So that should be a first thing. Always check on that. The next point is, let me pop the hood. Something with this car, this has the 3.5 liter V6 VTEC motor. I think it's double overhead cam, I believe. Variable cam timing and all that. The issue we had was the piston rings. I don't remember which ring it was, but on certain pistons it was sticking to the cylinder walls when it was cold and when it was cranking. That's not good. As you know, that's a very bad thing to happen, and we got it fixed immediately. Some people don't pay attention to it because it only happens every once in a while. And if it just does it the right time, it'll crack, it'll crack the piston, which pretty much destroys the cylinder wall and everything else because all that metal floating around in there. We got it replaced. They kind of honed the cylinders, replaced the certain rings, and put it all back together. Changed the timing belt. This was around 90. I think it was 100,000 because that was when they changed the timing belt. But yeah, that's an issue to keep in mind. And the way that I knew it was happening, I kept hearing it when it would start. And if it was cold outside, it would kind of thump. It would make like a thump noise when it started. What it was doing on the dashboard was the traction control. See, it's off right now, but the light come on, and so did the check engine light after it would do it. And even if I tried to hit the button for that, it wouldn't go away. The traction control button would not turn off traction control light. So the computer knew it was messing up. So it was trying to go. It was about going crazy, trying to figure out what was going on with itself. I thought it was a misfire, but it actually was a misfire because the cylinders weren't moving correctly. Therefore, or the pistons weren't moving correctly, therefore, the ignition was going crazy. But it would resolve itself. But keep that in mind. Try to get it checked out. That's the problem with this. Is a 2012. That's an issue with a lot of the V6 stuff, like the Cross Tour, the minivan, the Odyssey, and the Pilot. I don't know if CRV, I can't remember if they have V6 in them or not, but and the Ridgeline too. It is not common enough problem for it to be a recall. However, Honda does know about it, so if you come to them saying what's going on, they're going to know what to do. Because it is somewhat of a common problem, but for some reason they still haven't made it a recall because it doesn't happen often enough. Let's see, what else? Another thing that I dislike, normally on a face of a radio you would have your USB and aux where you can get to it. However, on this model, you have to reach all the way in here for USB. There's an outlet in here, and the aux is right over there. So if you were driving or something, you wanted to hook the aux cord up, it'd kind of be in your way there. Let's see, another thing about this car is the what was I gonna say? The brakes. Now this, we figured out this could be an issue because of the guy that works on the car, the technician at Honda. We think he might have over tightened the lug nuts one time, maybe warped the rotors, I don't know. But when we stop really hard, it does a little bit of a shudder noise. There's not as much, you can feel it, it's not really noise, and the rotors aren't, you know, ruined or nothing, but it always does that when you're slowing down hard. Never given us any issues. It's just one thing I've noticed. Also, these glasses break real easy. I figured that out. If it has any type of pressure coming onto it from the inside or whatever, they will burst into a million pieces of little glass. And they're very expensive to replace. And you can get the handles from Honda parts now. Just an FYI there. Also, what was I going to say? It is two-wheel drive on the EX base models, not four-wheel drive. So it doesn't do very well in any type of snow, stuff like that. Traction control does all right. It cuts the power to try to get it to connect with the ground. You can use drive number 2, which kind of uses the clutch bands more. That way you're giving it more engine RPM, but not putting it all to the ground. That way not as much power, which means you won't spin as easy. Other thing you got to keep in mind is the headlights and I assume the headlights are, but I know the fog lights are glass, because this one got busted out, and I'm working on replacing it right now, and I'm gonna do a video on how to do all that. But they're like $200 some at Honda. I'm getting mine like on eBay replacements, but just keep that in mind. If you run into a bush or something, Mike could bust that out, so just keep that in mind. There isn't really that much else that's bad about this car. It's a Honda. I mean, you can't give it too much hate. It is a very good, reliable car. But this is the end of part 1. I'm going to do a part 2 on the pros of this car and what I like about it and everything, which is going to be a lot. And then after that, I'm going to actually just do a review talking about every little bit and piece here and there. But other than that, yeah, I think that's it. If you could leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, JSW Cars. Leave a comment below whether you liked it or not, whatever. You know, if you don't like it, that's fine. This isn't my dream goal to make everyone like it. I'm just trying to get the word out there, trying to get my channel started. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe, and we will be back with part 2 shortly.